The future of Dragon Ball after Daima, including Dragon Ball Super, games, and more, has finally been addressed by the producers of the series, and in this video, we're gonna go over every bit of information that they gave us. A few days ago, a new interview featuring producer Iyoku was released and recently translated for us regarding the entire franchise, where he answered many questions initially regarding Dragon Ball Daima and eventually addressing the franchise's future as a whole. And I'm going to go ahead and get to some of the most important ones for you guys, but if you want to read the entire interview for yourselves, I'll be sure to link it down below. Now, you guys gotta excuse me, I'm still sick. I've been sick for over a week now, so this video won't be as long as it could be, and I won't be reading every single little thing from this interview, but the first question is gonna ask Iyoku, what exactly is Dragon Ball Daima? I feel like we all probably have our own unique answers for what we've seen over the past few months, but Iyoku would respond, Daima follows Goku and his friends, who are transformed into smaller versions of themselves due to a mysterious conspiracy as they embark on a new adventure in the Great Demon Realm. As an original story, it introduces many new characters, making it unpredictable and exciting. Many longtime fans find themselves reminiscing about their own childhood, eagerly awaiting each week's new episode, just like when we read Weekly Shonen Jump as a kid. At the same time though, Dragon Ball has always been a franchise that attracts new fans. Even children who have never watched Dragon Ball before will be thrilled by this new series. The next few sets of questions would focus around details and motivations for creating Dragon Ball Daima in the first place, which again, don't worry, the full article will be linked down below. In the next question, he actually finally goes on to address the similarities with Dragon Ball GT. We especially kept in mind the generation in their early 30s, and they're pretty much talking about a lot of us right here, who now have children of their own. They grew up watching Dragon Ball GT as kids. That was a key inspiration. We wanted to create a new anime series similar to GT. Dragon Ball GT, which aired from 1996 to 1997, was an original anime series in which Goku was transformed into a small child and embarked on this big grand adventure, making it kind of similar to Daima in that aspect. While adult Goku is undeniably cool, a younger Goku brings an added element of, I guess, cuteness, offering a different kind of charm. In Dragon Ball Daima, one of the highlights is Goku finally using the power pole again in all of these dynamic battle scenes, and I know this little section of the interview right here is something that a lot of Daima haters are going to hang on to with all of the comparisons to Dragon Ball GT before we even got this far into the series. But I mean, it is getting officially stated right there that they took a lot of inspiration from Dragon Ball GT in the first place. Next, we're going to be getting into even more connections in Daima. While it's clear that Dragon Ball Daima takes place after the Majin Buu arc of the original Dragon Ball Z manga, Dragon Ball has expanded into numerous other storylines over the years, leading fans to speculate just how much Daima fits in with the broader narrative. For the record, Iyoku is going to respond, since Toriyama personally wrote the story, it is indeed connected to the Majin Buu arc. That is a fact. The show would also reveal key connections within the Dragon Ball universe, such as the origins of Supreme Kais, Namekians, and even Majin Buu. Each episode unveils new links, constantly surprising viewers. Iyoku would go on to state that Daima explores how different parts of Dragon Ball's world are interconnected. Even if we weren't previously aware of these links, Toriyama had them in mind all along, so he isn't forcing new lore into the series. These connections already naturally existed, so I'm sure at some point, I guess we'll get some type of answer or reasoning or whatever on why we never saw Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta again after Daima, especially in Dragon Ball Super. You know, our initial assumption being that Super Saiyan 3 is just kind of obsolete in Dragon Ball Super, but if Toriyama had all of this stuff in mind all along, then I can't wait to see, you know, some of the other explanations that come out before the end of the series. One of the most shocking revelations for me and probably the rest of the fandom as well was that all or most of these characters with pointed ears are residents of the Great Demon Realm. It turns out that Toriyama had considered this for a long time as well, which blew my mind. He's always had a fully realized vision of Dragon Ball's world, with each series just focusing on different aspects of it. The show has been structured to feel like a serialized manga, keeping the audience hooked with each episode. And this statement right here is actually really interesting. He's always had a fully realized vision of Dragon Ball's world, with each series just focusing on different aspects of it. So that kind of brings a little bit more conversation around the which series are canon and which ones are not debate, but I'm not gonna personally get into that. It's just really interesting to hear that he wanted each series to focus on different aspects of Dragon Ball's world. Now we can finally get into the good stuff, the thing that most of you guys probably clicked this video for in the first place, where Ioku would finally get asked about the future of Dragon Ball's franchise as a whole, what this means for the series moving forward, and what we can expect from the conclusion of Dragon Ball Daima and onward. As we all know already, Dragon Ball Daima is being distributed worldwide, marking for the first time a Dragon Ball series has been simultaneously released across different regions. Ioku would respond, "Well, we weren't sure how the global audience would react, but we had always planned for a worldwide release with Dragon Ball Daima. We noticed that Dragon Ball is perceived differently depending on the country. In some places, it's viewed as just another anime, while in others, it's ranked alongside live-action dramas. So we're thinking about how to position Dragon Ball beyond just being another anime. It's a franchise with massive reach, and we need to keep adapting our perspectives." And I really like that answer because yes, in some places across the world, Dragon Ball does just, show up as another anime. They don't hold it in such high regards and high demand as places like North America, of course, obviously the USA. We're huge Dragon Ball fans here. Even bigger fans than us is probably gonna be South America, of course Japan. Dragon Ball is up there with like One Piece and things like that. So Dragon Ball is perceived differently depending on where you are in the world, and I think focusing on making sure the influence of Dragon Ball is as large as possible is a really good goal to have. Following this, he would be asked, what lies ahead for Dragon Ball? Between anime, games, merchandise, and manga, the franchise continues to evolve. Ioku would respond, "Projects like anime and games take time to develop. We're carefully preparing for future expansions. We want to take Dragon Ball even further. With its 50th anniversary and beyond in sight, Dragon Ball shows no signs of slowing down." Finally, the conclusion of Daima would get addressed, as it stated that the final episode of Dragon Ball Daima airs on February 28th and many mysteries still remain. Ioku replies, "The climax features incredible action scenes. The story may unfold as you expect, or it may take you by surprise. You'll be shocked. If you go back and rewatch from the beginning, you might pick up on even more details that maybe you didn't see the first time around. What surprises await in the final episode of Daima? Who knows, but all eyes are on Daima as it approaches its conclusion soon." That pretty much wraps up the significant portions of Ioku's interview on the future of the Dragon Ball franchise, as it is confirmed that new games, anime, probably movies, and more will come. These things just, take time to plan, as the main goal is the expansion of Dragon Ball as a whole to a wider audience and to have the franchise looked at as more than just another anime. Obviously, there's no set date yet on when the Dragon Ball Super manga will return, but with the one-shot coming out this month, hopefully we will know something soon. I fully expect Dragon Ball Super to return at some point in 2025, especially with Daima ending by the end of the month. So I do hope this gets you guys just as excited as me, and I do want to apologize about the lack of content recently. I've just been going through some IRL stuff a lot lately, being sick again. I'm getting married really soon, probably within the next 8 weeks, and just trying to do more with life overall. I hope you guys can understand. I'm not going to say too much yet, but I do want to say and reassure everybody that I will always make videos no matter what, and no matter how much time I may take away though, so I don't want that to ever get misunderstood. Especially as long as Dragon Ball is around, I will always be around. But anyways, fellas, have a great day, and I will see you all in the next one. Hopefully by the end of the month or next month, we'll be talking about the return of the Dragon Ball Super manga. That's really all I know we're waiting on, but I'm gonna see you fellas in the next one. Bye guys.